Um, Interesado. Spente. Hola, buenas, buenas. Oh, muchas gracias para ir por ahí, what are you working on? Bueno, ahora mismo estoy leyendo. Right now I'm just reading this book here. 17 minutos, entrevista con el dictador. So I'm just reading this for right now, and then later I'm gonna do some writing, writing Spanish, and then probably gonna do a little bit of French and Spanish study as well. But muchas gracias por venir. Thank you for coming. And what languages are you learning? All. Así es. Solbudaño, ok, excelente. me da gusto saber que tomaste la decisión para empezar a aprender. Because it's an amazing language. Intransigente. Palabra. Intransigente. I know. Sí, no me digas es ahí. Perdóname. Es mexicana, de Guanajuato. Yo tenía muchas ganas de irme ahí. Entonces ya me aprendo todos los días con ellos. Qué excelente. Un ambiente excelente para eso. Esto es la mejor. ¡Qué suerte! Intransigente. Te entendí claramente. Así es. De veras. A, B, C, D. Todavía no estoy con la palabra correcta. Sí, yo he estado en Guadalajara hace 3 años y me encantó. México es un país súper diverso y es muy diverso y grande, más grande que yo pareciera. Intrans. No tengo entendido qué significa esta palabra ni en inglés. Repulsivo. Simpatizando el diálogo. todos ustedes. Oh, ¿verdad? Y creo que porque estoy muy lejos de mi micrófono también, eso es otra razón que no podría escucharlo con mucha claridad. Y no estoy gritando. Pero también yo voy a hablar más cuando tendría un break, un descanso. Sí, entiendo. Como yo voy a bajar la música cuando tendría un descanso y podemos hablar un poco más. Pero yo tengo que leer un poquito. Tengo que leer por unos 20 minutos más o menos y voy a tomar un descanso y podemos practicar un poquito. Eso es el plan. O yo no voy a leer nada si yo sigo hablando todo el tiempo. No, está bien. Y tener en cuenta, and then you guys can talk amongst yourself too. Or I get in the chat here, so you don't have to wait for me. You guys can talk and stuff or chat. Mandar mensajes entre sí si quieres. And thanks, Leo Montana. Muchas gracias. Qué interesante. Está claro. Definitivamente está bem. Sandra. Ah, qué excelente. Memphis. ¿Cómo recuerdo robado con el experto en el dinosaurio que revivía esta bahía? Visiting pasta. Desaparecimientos de temperaturas. Nerviosamente. Tú que soy con... Siempre unas frases dominantes, no, Basta ya. Eso no ve porque estoy cayendo de sueño. Déjame ver. Dígame entonces. Déjame bajar la música. Yo sé que es bastante ruidoso. Tengo que ver los comentarios. Voy a quitar esto. Voy a descansar por 10 minutos. And for all those who have joined, thank you very much for joining this live stream here. Déjame saber, let me know how long you've been studying Spanish for and why are you learning Spanish. Bueno, muy tarde para mí. Son las 11, casi 10:50. Un poco tarde para leer para mí. It's a little late to be reading for me. Because reading puts me to sleep really, really fast. That's why I'm yawning so much. And I just realized I have no idea how to say yawn in Spanish. So if somebody knows how to say that, déjame saber eso también, porque me falta esta palabra. Paul Baker por mi familia y yo un año. Qué maravilloso. Apenas empezaste tu camino con español. Un año. For me, it's been about like 8-ish years in total. Pero como no constantemente, and like some people say that like high school and college don't count, so and middle school don't really count that much because I didn't do much. Pero yo diría 3 años constantemente he estudiado español. I mean, like in school years, not really, because it wasn't like for like 8 full years. It was more like for I don't know how many weeks, like a quarter is. Like in high school, y 3 semestres en el colegio o en la universidad, no tanto. Eso solamente es como Cuatro meses. Técnicamente, 3 semestres, como dos semestres en la universidad, no es un año completo. Es solamente como que, déjame ver, de agosto a diciembre, 4 meses, más seis meses, 10 meses, técnicamente. So it's not like 4 years. And I would say mostly I've been learning just on my own and then actually focusing on Spanish for the past 3 years. Yeah, for the past 3 years. Like actually full years. So I definitely count like the previous 3 years. Like the other ones, they were just like in school and I wasn't doing much. University level, a little bit, but not that much. I wasn't even practicing speaking Spanish when I was in the university. Sean, cuando llego a casa tengo una historia interesante. Bueno, al regresar a tu casa, déjanos saber cuál es tu historia. Rosetta Stone. Okay. I don't know too many people that use Rosetta Stone that much actually. How is it? ¿Te conviene o no? I want to look up how to say yawn. 'Cause I don't know how to say yawn. Well, algunos de esos todavía yo no sé. Yo no sé cómo decir las básicas palabras en español hasta hoy. Lo básico. ¿Necesita? Aparentemente, yawn is bostezar. Bostezo. Never heard that before. Probably que está bien, pero es not a substitute for speaking con otras personas. Claro que no. No se puede sustituir la práctica. Una aplicación de flashcards. Okay. No, speaking is very difficult to do. Especially if you're not around Spanish speakers a lot. Like for me to maintain my Spanish, I have to practice, like right now, just practice speaking to myself all the time. Or it's like really hard to like maintain. Para mantener mi nivel. How did you improve listening comprehension? Great question. Basically, a lot of repetition. A lot of repetition. Déjame ver, déjame pensar ¿cómo te explico? Un montón de conversaciones. So a lot of conversations for me, I would say, is what mostly improved my listening comprehension skills. A lot of conversations with Spanish speakers, hearing the same words over and over again, asking them to repeat it. Me puedes repetir, por favor, ¿qué dijiste? I said that so many times I can't even count. So yeah, a lot of conversations that's helped out a lot because then I can just ask that Spanish speaker who's right in front of me. You know, what did you say? How do you spell it? Como se escribe? I always usually ask people how do you spell the word too, because that's how I know how I can say the word as well. So if I didn't know how to say partir, for example, or someone said to me partir, but I didn't know like what he just said. I would say, okay, could you say a little bit slower? And if I still couldn't understand him, then I would tell him could you like spell it out? Okay, Partir. Then I'm like, oh, okay, partir. So that's kind of how I've increased my listening comprehension, like to say the very least. It's a little bit more, but that's like the basics of what I've done. It's fairly simple and it works very well. So having the Spanish speaker repeat the word that they said, but then also me, I have to know what the sounds of the letters of the Spanish alphabet are as well. So that definitely will help. Just understanding how different letters sound, different combinations of letters sound too. That helped out a lot. And it just takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of time. That's what I can say. It takes a very long time. At least for me, it has taken a long time. Even right now, it's not like I would say with my speaking abilities, I would say it's easier to increase almost with listening. Like it just takes a long time. Like right now, I could practice, saying a sentence over and over again, and then I'll sound a lot better. But with listening, it's not the same. It's not like I can just listen to something, 20 times in a row, and then I can understand it perfectly. Because listening comprehension is like really, it's weird and it's difficult to measure in that way. It's really strange, but it kind of just takes some time. So either be very patient with listening. Pablo García, a veces no te entiendo que se dice a mí, de mi suegra. Sí, eso pasará. Y también igual conmigo. Siempre me pasa cada día. Literalmente, yo tenía una llamada con uno de mis amigos y él es de la República Dominicana. Todavía me estoy acostumbrando a su acento porque yo lo conocí hace 6 meses, más o menos, y todavía yo no entiendo cada vaina que me está diciendo. Entonces me cuesta muchísimo entenderlo por su acento y por su forma de hablar. Entonces tomó mucho tiempo. Siquiera después de 6 meses me estoy acostumbrando a su acento y su forma de hablar. Entonces tiene tiempo o cuesta tiempo. Entonces la paciencia te va a llevar muy lejos en cuanto a la comprensión auditativa. It's hard for me to say that word sometimes. But a famous thing, I can't say the second word. Thanos. I want to say Thanos, but it's not Thanos. Listen to music, watch the news, and watch TV, movies in Spanish helps a ton. I agree. Estoy de acuerdo contigo. And then on the phone too. When I'm on the phone, 'cause I just started recently speak with my Spanish speaking friends on the phone a lot more. Usually it was just in person, but now I do it over the phone. I can't understand anybody on the phone. And I guess not just Spanish speakers, but even like native English speakers. It's really difficult for me to understand people on the phone. I don't know if anybody else has that issue, but I definitely have that issue a lot. Ok, déjame leer esa historia de Sean. El martes era el primer día del semestre, pero mi clase de español es los lunes y miércoles. El martes busqué mi clase porque todas mis clases están en el mismo edificio, pero mi clase de español es otro edificio. Está otro edificio. Así que encontré el edificio de idiomas modernos y encontré la sala. El miércoles fui al mismo lugar, pero mi amigo llegó a la sala donde estaba sentado. Nos preguntamos por qué estamos aquí. Leí mi plan de clase otra vez. Y con 3 minutos hasta la clase aprendí que estaba en el edificio equivocado. Así que corrí muy rápido para llegar a clase 1 minuto tarde. pero luego la profesora y yo hablamos después y me entendió. Eso es lo que pasa los primeros días de las clases. Cada uno es de Madrid. De Madrid. Yeah, that's perfect for you then, since you are learning Castilian Spanish. Por fin tengo a alguien que me puede ayudar a refinar mi acento. Algo más. Si puedes entender los dominicanos, es posible que puedas entender los demás. Eso, mira, eso es lo que yo pensaba antes. Yo pensaba que si pudiera entender los dominicanos, yo sería capaz de entender los demás, y no es la verdad. No es la verdad. Sí, el acento dominicano es bastante distinto que los otros idiomas en los países de habla español. Pero what I've noticed is that Dominican Spanish sounds very different from Puerto Rican Spanish. I feel like those are fairly similar, but last year I started to hear the Cuban accent for the first time ever in my life, and the Cuban accent is very difficult for me to understand as well. And it's not like Dominican Spanish. Like, I don't understand the Cuban accent at all. It's it's really different from the Dominican Spanish. So I feel like I went backwards again. So I just like I'm like a baby all over again with a Cuban accent. It's different. It is very different. The Cuban accent is. So I wish it was the case, pero no es. No, bueno, para mí no es la verdad. Los demás, yo no puedo hablar con todo el mundo, pero para mí eso es mi situación. Me cuesta muchísimo entender los cubanos. But at the same time, I've never watched any YouTube videos, any Cuban YouTubers or nothing like that. Or I've met Cubans for the first time in my life last year. So I never heard their accent until, last year basically, besides some singers, Other than that, I've never really heard Cubans before. ¿Qué sobre? ¿Cómo así? ¿Qué sobre? ¿Qué sabe? ¿Cómo un acento de norteño de México? ¿Qué sabe? ¿Qué es sobre? ¿Qué sobre como un acento de...? No te entiendo muy bien. Voy a desconectar mi batería. Explíqueme otra vez, Paul, porque no te entendí muy bien. No te entendí muy bien. I gotta speak slower. O se enreda la boca, o se enreda la lengua. And speaking of la lengua, I just tried la lengua for the first time today. Oh, I couldn't tell you. What about the norteño accent? Bueno, sí, no podría decirte nada, because I can't distinguish between different Mexican accents, so I couldn't even tell you. I couldn't tell you what that even sounds like, honestly. Like, I know what some Mexican accent sounds like, but I couldn't tell you como no te podría darte un nombre específico o cómo le llaman el acento. No tengo entendido de los acentos de México todavía. And there's a lot of accents there, so I'm trying to learn it though. Sí, como recientemente yo probé lengua hace como 30 minutos. Antes de este live stream, este video en directo, yo probé lengua con frijoles Lengo con frijoles con tomate, pico de gallo y un poco de ensalada. Con una horchata muy grande, una horchata de este tamaño, de este tamaño, súper grande, súper gigantesca. Sean Composer, ¿qué libro de español utilizaste en la universidad? Bueno, no fue un libro como tal, pero fue un textbook. Um, eh, no sé cómo, bueno, I don't want to get up. I do have it. I forgot what it's called though. It was just like a regular Spanish, like intermediate Spanish textbook. That's all it was. Just with like different grammar and had vocab lists on there, different topics for the different sections. Had some cultural aspects of it as well. It's pretty useful. Porque mi suegra hace pozole cada día. Ay, Dios mío, qué suerte para ti. Sean, ahora no, yo no recuerdo los nombres. En ese momento, desafortunadamente. Mi suegra hace pozole cada día. Y también, bueno, ese textbook fue hecho específicamente para mi universidad. Entonces quizás no es como te explico, no es un texto quizás que como muy común, yo diría, porque fue hecho para mi universidad específicamente, para mis clases específicamente en la universidad. Mi suegra hace pozole. I think I've had pozole como solamente una vez. Me gusta pero es demasiado cuando yo come cada día. Ah, ¿no te gusta, no te gusta comer el pozole cada día, básicamente? Bueno, no tendría un problema con esto. Actually, I don't know. Eso fue una mentira. Nunca he probado pozole. Lo que yo probé antes yo probé mole. Yo probé mole por la primera vez hace 2 meses. Hace 2 meses yo probé el mole por la primera vez. Y eso cambió mi vida. Pero albóndigas puede como cada día. Albóndigas. Yo no sé qué es esto, qué tipo de platillo es esto. ¿Qué lleva? Mole con turkey. No fue con mole con pollo. Oh no, mole con pollo. I don't know what I just said. I said mole. Mole con pollo. Oh, déjame ver. Actually, let me look it up. I think it was pollo con mole, algo así. Déjame ver. Oh, meatballs. Sí. That's interesting. So, hoy sí, yo tenía un platillo de lengua acompañado con arroz, frijoles, pico de gallo, guacamole, ensalada y horchata. Y yo lo comí por completo. ¿Cómo se llama el otro restaurante? Ok. Pollo en mole, yo creo. Me toca regresar a este restaurante. panqueques con moras, panqueques con cajeta, panqueques con huevo, muchos con nata, pero sopes, antojitos. Ok, sí, se llama pollo en mole, pollo en mole. Y frijoles, frijoles borrachos. Frijoles borrachos. Eso fue excelente. Pero déjame ver si podría mostrarte lo que yo comí justamente. Quizás sí, no sé si aparece. Es lo que yo comí para mi cena esta noche. Pues muy rica. No parece como frijoles, pero aparentemente son frijoles. Pero no sé, se ven más roja, más rojos que la última vez que yo he probado. Que los he probado. Se ve muy raro, en verdad. No se ven como frijoles y también tiene otro sabor. Pero súper rica. Para decirlo menos. Y hablando de la comida, lo que voy a hacer ahora mismo, déjame ver, ¿qué voy a escribir con esto? Espero que no haya problema con corregir algo. Algo de gusto meatball no es. Oh. Gracias por la corrección. No, fue pollo en mole. Pollo en mole. All right. Now I'm going to write for a little bit, so I won't be talking like as much. Pero es hora de escribir. Regresamos a los estudios. So, 20 de enero. 20. El 20 de enero, 20. Oh my gosh. Muchas gracias a ti, Paul, por venir y muchas gracias por la buena conversación y espero mucho éxito en tu camino con español. Cuídate mucho y buenas noches. Oh yeah, and make sure all of y'all turn on your notifications too for my videos, and you should get notifications for my live streams as well, so you don't miss those. No te olvides. Entonces, eso. Ok, espero que te vayas bien, Sean. Muchas gracias por unirte también a esta live stream. Gracias por tu historia que nos había contado. Fue muy chistoso, pero lamentablemente eso te pasó. Pero muchas gracias por contar esto y que tengas una buena noche o que te pases un buen día. Que a la hora que sea, cuídate. William Thompson, do you think Mexican Spanish is the way to start? It really depends on what you want. I can't tell you which accent is like the best for you. Todo depende de tus metas que has propuesto y lo que quieres recibir de español, de este idioma. Eso es mi respuesta. I know like some people say, learn Mexican Spanish for, it's close to depending on where you live, because it's close to the US, a lot of Mexicans in the US, or that it's easier to learn or whatnot. For me, it's really whatever Spanish or whichever Spanish from whichever Spanish speaking country is the best for you. So it kind of just depends on your goals, really. I can't give you like a specific Spanish that you should learn. It all depends on what country that you want to start in, basically. I mean, you technically don't even have to choose Mexican Spanish necessarily. You can still learn a good variety of basic vocabulary before you even really start to get into a specific country's, colloquial words and things like that. All the colloquialism from a specific country. So you can still learn a decent amount of vocab without really getting into the specific country's specific Spanish. So that's what I would say to you. I can't give a specific type of Spanish. All depends on you, what you want. Bueno, personalmente, yo creo que el slang de México es amplio también. I mean, there's a lot of slang in Mexico. I mean, it's a very big country. I mean, it's a fairly big country, and there's many different accents there too. So there's a lot of slang in Mexico. Really, ¿has pensado en estudiar el portugués ya que sabes el español? Es parecido, sí. Oh, me he dado me he dado cuenta que el portugués es muy parecido al español, pero eh, no tengo un deseo para aprender el portugués, bueno, en este momento. Por esa razón estoy estudiando francés y también francés es bastante parecido al español. Pero si yo no veo el portugués en mi futuro. Oh, let me like. I don't think I answered the question properly. For William here, do you think Mexican Spanish is the best way to start? And no, I don't think Mexican Spanish is the best way to start. I think the best way to start is with whichever Spanish that you would like to learn. So it's all up to you. Eh, sí, 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 sí. Reality, soy de Louisiana, me gustaría aprender francés algún día también. No sé, cada vez que yo pienso en portugués, como me da dolores de cabeza pensando en tratando de como separar ambos idiomas porque se parecen demasiado. Es como que en portugués es como que solamente se quita una letra de una palabra y eso es como se quita una palabra o una letra de español y ya tienes español. O como que se mueven las letras como al revés y ahí está portugués. Y por esa razón yo no tengo un deseo para tocar portugués ahora mismo. Parece demasiado similar al español. Y los sonidos y todo eso, no, gracias. Estoy bien con francés. Sí, parece muy confuso. Well, Genial. Asociación. Abuso. Cuerpo. Hola, continuamos. Pero ¿dónde está? Hola, men. Hotel. Buenas. Usen ball. Claro que sí. I'm still learning Castilian Spanish. Slowly. Pero sí, todavía. Cada día un poquito. Y buenas, Justin. I will share one YouTube channel that I'm watching right now, or actually a few of them. Where is it at? What's her name again? Her name is Raquel Broom. Broom. One YouTube channel I'm watching right now. From YouTube. Who is from Spain. And I'm watching a little bit every single day. Justin, ahora mismo estoy estudiando francés and español. I'm studying a little bit of French and Spanish. So I'm just kind of just writing down some words in Spanish and then writing down what the equivalent word is in French. Oh no, yeah, writing down what some words are in French and then looking up what the equivalent word is in Spanish. So right now I'm doing like parts of the face in francés. So eso es a lo que me dedico ahora mismo. Las partes de la cara en francés. ¿Por qué yo que cometí ese error? Irreversible. Le mets le visage, le corps. Ah, aquí estamos. Estamos en YouTube. No creo eso. Pecho, mano, la boca. Ah, la lengua. Piet. 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 Okay. I know. Justin, trabajas duro. Sí, yo tengo que, because I haven't done that much this week. So I definitely have to do some tonight. ¿Cómo puedo mejorar mi vocabulario, Elijah? Use Anki. I have used Anki. I don't use it really right now, though. Yeah, I don't use it right now. Pero en Elijah, when you say mejorar tu vocabulario, como a qué te refieres exactamente? ¿Qué es lo que quieres hacer? ¿Quieres como hablar con más vocabulario o quieres más conocimiento de vocabulario o qué? Como quieres comprender más vocabulario o cuál es tu meta específico? But I do like Anki, but like for me, like in this momento, like where I'm at right now, I don't really go through flashcards or anything like that with Spanish, at least. With French, I can use it, but with Spanish, I like to learn more just through exposure more than anything. And I do write down new words and phrases from time to time, but I don't do as heavy studying with that usually. I kind of just try to get new vocabulary through conversations, listen to my friends and things like that. But I don't usually do too much of like reviewing that much. No como antes. Oh, ay, me equivoqué. Bueno, cuando hablo con hispanohablantes hay palabras que quiero usar, pero las oído. All right. So, en este caso, bueno, básicamente, lo que te aconsejo es como hago lo que estoy haciendo ahora mismo. Bueno, lo que yo estuve haciendo, eh, notas unas cuantas palabras desearías utilizar. Like I have a list of adjectives, for example, that I want to include in my vocabulary, and then you can use whatever list that you have, that you've created with the words that you want to start using more. Then you just have to start using them over a lot, like a lot. So you can use them in writing. Like I use some of the words I want to start using more in writing, and then also kind of thinking throughout the day with them, and then also just practice speaking with them. And yeah, like you already know what words that you want to say, so you kind of just have to really think about them all the time and use them a lot as well. Otherwise, it's fairly easy to forget them. So that's what I have to say about that. You really just have to focus on using them a lot, or else, yeah, it's going to be difficult. And then also, if you don't know what the meaning of them are, the meaning of the words, I have found that that's also very difficult too. If you don't know the meaning of, let's say, uh, un verbo como, eh, un verbo como, ay Dios, that's so hard. Jugar. Let's just say you don't know like the meaning of jugar. If you don't know the meaning of the word, if you don't know the meaning of the word, it's going to be like very challenging to actually remember to use that in a conversation. And so that's one thing, knowing the definition of a word, knowing how to use it as well, because you can know what a word is, but if you don't know how to use it, you're not gonna be able to use it in a conversation. It'll be very difficult for you to figure out how to actually say this word, that actually makes sense, so it's comprehensible. So yeah, that's what I would recommend. Just write down a list of words that you want to start using more, and then start practicing with those words a lot, and then make sure that you know the meaning. Aprende sobre los significados de ese vocabulario, significado del vocabulario, utilizar ese vocabulario muchísimo durante el día, pensando en las palabras y hablando en voz alta con esas palabras, para que se quedan en la mente. Hope that helps. Roger, ¿cómo puede mejorar la habilidad de escuchar? Así me pongo nervioso. Yo también. Hasta hoy todavía me da mucha vergüenza. Muchas gracias a ti. You're welcome. You're welcome very much, Elijah. Hope that helps out a lot. Déjame saber en el futuro. See that if that helps out. It'll be good to know if that assists you. Si puedes recibir los resultados que deseas con esos consejos. Roger, me la habilidad de escuchar. So actually just talking about this a little bit earlier. So with increasing listening comprehension, what has helped me a lot is having conversations with Spanish speakers. Now, if you're not able to do that, then I would focus a lot. I would focus a lot on how the letters of the alphabet sound, of the Spanish alphabet. It sounds very simple, and it is very simple, but that is going to help you a lot, knowing how the letters of the alphabet sound. Because every time I don't know, for the most part, every time I don't know what a word is, when I'm speaking with a native Spanish speaker, that's exactly what I do. If I hear it, and I still don't know what it means, I ask them to repeat the word. I still don't know what it means, then I just ask them to spell it. Because if they spell it out, I'll know exactly I'll know exactly which letters that they're saying for the most part, most of the time. I'll know what letters that they're saying, and then I can visualize a word, or I can write it down or whatnot and try to pronounce it. But that's what has helped me a lot. Trying to figure out what words they're saying. If I don't know, then ask them. What word did they say? And then it's just like the repetition. Hearing that word over and over again, basically. So it takes a lot of patience. It takes a lot of patience because I like to say that hearing comprehension is probably in my opinion, desde de mi punto de vista, es lo más, es la habilidad, habilidad más, la habilidad más difícil para mejorar y crecer. Eso es lo que yo creo por mi experiencia, porque por ejemplo, como yo estoy cometiendo muchos errores ahora mismo, like with speaking, I can just, I can practice saying, words all day, and like you can see like, the immediate benefits. Like if I stutter right now, and I mispronounce the word, all I have to do is, just speak a little bit slower and then focus, a little bit, and then I can say that word better. And the same thing with the sentence. Usually you just have to like pause for a second to think about it. But with listening comprehension, it's not the same thing. It's not like I can just, you can kind of like just repeat it over and over again, and then you know it automatically. It kind of takes a very long time, because listening comprehension is very complex. So yeah, and let's see what else. So yeah, having conversations with Spanish speakers and just hearing the same words over and over again. Like one day, let's say you don't know if someone says gritar. Someone said gritar, but you didn't know what they said. But then you ask them, and you're like, okay, you said gritar. But then you forget how it sounds. But then like the more times that you hear it over and over again, and then the more times that you hear the different conjugations, you'll start to remember it a lot more. So really, it's just time plus like repetition for different words. And let's see what else. Then of course, just consuming content, consuming Spanish content. But that mostly, I would say, that's going to help you again for repetition. So hearing the same words over and over again. If you're watching something on Netflix or YouTube, put the subtitles on, because again, you want to know, what words that you're listening to, what words and phrases that you're listening to. That's going to be the most important. So how it looks, and how it's spelled. So that's like gonna be the most important for you. So if someone says a word again, like if someone says gritar to you, like for me, if someone says gritar to me, I know what they just said. Like right now, gritar, I can spell that out for you. It's gonna be it's gonna ideos. It's gonna be Gritar. So I already have like a mental picture of what this word already is, and I know how to say every single letter. So it's kind of like that. Roger, I'm pretty good with the pronunciation, but when I'm in a conversation, I don't understand the word and then my brain shuts down. Oh yeah, it's the same thing. That's happened to me plenty of times. I mean, it can be for multiple reasons. Like I don't know exactly what your reason is. It could be, you're nervous. If you're nervous, you're not going to understand it. It's very difficult to understand somebody. That's happened to me plenty of times. It still happens to me. If you're nervous, that will reduce your listening comprehension. And during the conversation, like I was saying beforehand, there's a lot of things that there's a lot of things that are going on in a conversation. It's not the same thing if you're watching a YouTube video, if you're watching Netflix. All you have to do is just like listen, but it's sometimes a little bit more passive, but in a conversation, there's a lot more, there's more interaction involved. So not only do you have to listen, but more than likely you're going to be thinking of like what to respond, or how you're going to respond as well. So that's why listening comprehension is like very complex. It's not the same when you're watching TV versus like in an actual conversation. There's a lot more going on when you're having a conversation. And let's see, if I don't understand the conversation, I understand one word, my brain shuts down. Yeah, so basically you just have to figure out a way, or not figure out a way, but yeah, like find the best methods to prevent that from happening, from having your brain shut down. And you know, so like I said, it could be because you're nervous. It could be because you're tired as well. Your listening comprehension will definitely decrease a lot if you're tired. Your listening comprehension can decrease, yeah, if you're tired. If you're tired, if you're nervous, and if you're just not paying attention. Sometimes we just don't pay attention, but other times it's where we're paying attention too much actually, as in we're trying to understand every single word, but like let's say, you know, como ahora mismo estoy hablando español contigo, pero tú estás enfocando en lo que acabo de decirte. Entonces tú estás pensando en las últimas 3 palabras, pero todavía estoy siguiendo hablando contigo. Entonces como que ahora mismo estás confundido en lo que te estoy diciendo, porque estás pensando en las últimas los últimos cuatro palabras, ¿me entiendes? So it's like that. Your listening comprehension can be affected because you're only focusing on like a few words that that person just said versus, you know, the other 8 or 10 words or, you know, 5 sentences or whatnot. So that can also affect your listening comprehension as well. That happens to me all the time because if I don't understand what my friend is telling me, you know, I'm only focusing on like that one thing that I couldn't understand, but I understand like generally what he's saying, but it's just like, oh, that he said like one word, he said 2 words or 3 words that I didn't understand at all. If I'm only focusing on that, then it's very difficult to comprehend the rest of what he's saying, if that makes sense. I mean, sí me entiendes. And then Roger, again, thank you for the advice, getting stages for learning connector words. I mean, that's pretty simple. You just write them down and then you review them. I mean, like I mean, I have plenty that are written down in my notebooks. Yeah, frases transicionales right here. Lo bueno, lo malo, lo difícil, lo interesante, lo correcto es, lo mejor, lo peor, lo curioso, a comienzo, a final resulto, a medida que antes que nada, después ahí, por encima de todo, al fin, hasta que, al menos que. So just like that, like I have a whole bunch of words I just write down, and then you just try to include them, you know, in your day-to-day basically, and try to use them as much as you can. And some other ones here. Igual que tú, no me animo, si pones tu mente, empecé con él, me puedo identificar con esto, a medida que, and then write down sentences for like each of those transitional words too. Right, that's what happens. I understand the idea of what's being said, but I get caught up with the one that I don't hear. Yeah, you just gotta like, yeah, force yourself not to do that. I mean, it depends on the conversation, you know. You can, you know, say the person that you're talking to is, you know, is someone who you can always ask them. It's someone that you can ask, and they will explain to you what that word is. You know, not every single conversation you can do that. You know, you can ask, oh, you know, what does this mean? What does this mean? What does this mean? You know, maybe not every single conversation you can do that with. But you know, like the ones you can, then you know, just try to remember what that word was, and then just ask them later. But don't focus too much on it while you're having the conversation. Just wait till like the end of the conversation. Claro que si tú sabes, estoy aquí para ustedes. Con placer, con placer. Uy, bueno, Déjame decirte, but déjame recordarles que if you haven't subscribed to my channel, make sure that you do that. Subscribe to my channel, turn on your notifications para ser notificado de mis videos nuevos, so you can be updated or notified for my future videos that I'll be having. Además, si tienes un deseo para apoyar mi canal, se puede donar donaciones también, donar dinero a mi canal. So if you would like to support my channel, you can also do that by donating, and you can find the link for that, el enlace, abajo en la caja de descripción, in the description box. It just says like buy me a coffee or whatnot, or support my content. You can click on that link if you would like, and you can dar donaciones. Elijah, what is IRL? Is that like, I don't want to sound ignorante. Is that like in real life? I think so. Sabia, PM, hola. Roger, subscribe, notifications are on. Awesome. Qué maravilloso. Muchas gracias. Oh yeah, and yeah, make sure that you share my channel with your friends too, with your language learning friends. Best way to support Spanish speakers. So actually, yeah, I've thought about this a lot actually recently. So I would never ask a Spanish speaker to practice. I would just have a conversation with them. And that's that. Because how do I explain this? ¿Cómo te explico? Because in real life, you're not in a classroom setting. Dado que no estés en una clase, no tienes que preguntar a alguien, no tienes que preguntar a un hispanohablante para practicar, porque no tiene sentido, porque como imagínate que alguien te acerca y te pregunta la misma cosa. ¿Quieres practicar inglés conmigo? ¿O quieres practicar tu idioma nativo? Es como que, ¿por qué? ¿Me entiendes? Es como un poco raro. So that is that's what I'll say about that. It's just kind of strange if you just, it's kind of strange if you just, go up to someone and say, hey, let's practice Spanish. You don't have to do that. You just speak with them. That's all you have to do. Just start speaking Spanish. It doesn't matter what your level is. You just start speaking Spanish. You don't have to ask permission to use your second language, if that makes sense. But then this also goes into like the topic of, what you're trying to get out of the conversation too. So that's also a part of it. What exactly that you're trying to get out of the conversation, like are you actually just trying to practice, let's say like the subjunctive mood, or I don't know, subjunctive mood, or you're just trying to practice like a certain topic, or whatever the case may be, depending on what you want, that may be better for like a language partner or for a tutor. But if you're in real life, then you should just be having normal conversations with people. You know what I mean? Because I think that's probably like the best way to put it. It's not like you're talking with a language exchange partner. I would say that setting is just different, because both of you are trying to work on learning a language and stuff like that. So you're gonna be helping each other out. I mean, like in real life, and it's still real life, but if you go to someone, a random Spanish speaker, start talking with them, it's still kind of, you can still ask them questions and things. I'm not saying you can't ask them questions, but I'm just saying like don't expect them to be like a language exchange partner, basically, where you have that type of interaction, because it's just like a person that you're meeting. So just have a conversation. That makes sense. Roger, do you still recommend Hello Talk? Absolutely. I tried it before and actually downloaded it after one of watching your videos. Yeah, no, I definitely recommend it. I highly recommend it, especially if you don't have Spanish speakers around you, or yeah, if you don't have Spanish speakers around you, or for time, or whatever the case may be. Absolutely, meet some people on there. Have start having some conversations on there. Send voice, excuse me, send voice recordings, set up some calls if you have time for that. Develop a relationship with someone. So no, absolutely, it's an amazing app because you can literally talk with Spanish speakers from any Spanish speaking country that you can think of, and it's free. So besides paying for your phone, but nothing like extra. Yeah, Discord. Discord is really good too. I like Discord a lot. Discord, you got Twitter. Twitter's really good. I use Twitter all the time. You can follow me on Twitter as well. Yeah, Twitter's really good for that. For practicing. Jay, do you watch Netflix or whatever with subtitles in English or in Spanish? Well, Jay, I don't watch any Spanish content with subtitles anymore. So no subtitles for me. Pero anteriormente, I keep forgetting how to pronounce this word. Anteriormente, yo puse los subtítulos. Yo puse los subtítulos en español. I don't like English. I don't like putting the subtitles in English. Or I did like putting subtitles in English, but that was just kind of my thing. Like I wouldn't even recommend it to people, but if it helps you, definitely do that. But I don't like it. I don't like doing it that way because for me, it's like you're focusing on English, but you should be focusing on Spanish. So I would rather listen to something if I was a beginner, for example, I'd rather listen to something in English, but I'm reading like the Spanish subtitles. At the very least, I'm focusing on Spanish versus the reverse. If I'm listening to something in Spanish and then I had the subtitles in English, I'm just going back to English. I'm not thinking about the Spanish, if that makes sense. So it's kind of like the reverse. It really just kind of depends on. I mean, they both of those ways can work. I mean, you can put it in I would say French, in English or Spanish, and it can help you. It kind of just depends on what you want. Because we're asking a Spanish friend to practice great. I've done it at work and vacation level when you start talking with them. They will help you when you get stuck on something or say something not correct. I agree with that. Roger, tengo que irme. Cuídense todos y a ti también, igualmente. Cuídate mucho y muchas gracias por unirte y gracias por la buena conversación y por tus preguntas. Espero que te vaya bien y que descanses. Y bueno, yo también, me toca que ir. I'm about ready to go to sleep now. Yeah, I'm pretty tired now. That is a movie quote. Yeah, all that reading just like took all the energy out of me. It happens every single time. Every time I read, whether it's in English or Spanish, I'm about ready to go to bed. Pero, sí, llegamos al final de este live stream, este video en directo. Muchas gracias a ustedes. Claro que sí. Muchas gracias a ustedes por uniendo. Creo que eso es como eso es como se pronuncia esta palabra. Uniendo, algo así. Muchas gracias por uniendo, por entrando a esta live stream. Muchas gracias. Mil gracias. Thank you all for coming. It's been a good conversation here. Thanks for keeping me company during my little study session. And thank you as well for watching my videos and for all your support in the comment section. I love reading the comments of the videos and everything like that. So I definitely read the comments, respond to the comments. So keep those coming as well. Make sure you comment on the videos that you're watching. Let me know if you hate them, if you like them, if you don't care about them, you know, whatever. Any kind of response is good for me. So thank you again for that. And then make sure that you check it out. Check out the links in the description of this live stream as well. Got some resources there for you. Yeah, some resources for there that might be helpful for you if you need any resources. Y sí, de nada. Sabiel, de nada. They got more videos coming along, so make sure you look out for those. And yeah, let me know what type of videos that you like to see in the future as well. Claro que sí. Sin duda. All righty. Y'all have a great morning, afternoon, and good night. Adiós, cuídense y nos vemos muy pronto. No te pares de estudiar. Don't stop studying Spanish. I would recommend, studying every single day, studying a little bit every single day, studying a little bit every single day, learning Spanish a little bit every single day. No te desmotivas, no te desanimes, and yeah, stay strong and have fun, enjoy the process. And this is probably one of the most beautiful languages in the whole world. That's all I gotta say about that. All right, cuídense mucho y adiós. Hasta luego.